Welcome in the present session. And before moving on in this session, I would like to say something about the session that it's all about speaking skills. Means today I'm going to tell you how to develop your speaking skills. As we know that we human beings are the best creatures on the earth, and so we have developed our speaking skills. Means it can be developed. If you think that you are weak in your speaking skills, means you can develop your speaking skills. But to develop it, you need to follow some rules, some instructions, some techniques, some tricks and some tips. So if you think that you want to develop, you have to be with me and you have to follow my instructions. And if you are going to follow my instructions, I can assure that you are going to develop your skills well in a very short period of time. So be with me till the end of the session. As we know that other creatures are also present on the earth, and we know that they have not developed their speaking skills. Do you know why they have not developed their speaking skills? And the answer of this question is very simple. They have not developed because they have no good minds, but we have good minds. No doubt they have also their voices like we had in our early times, but we have good minds, so we are able to develop anything, and so we have developed our speaking skills, but other animals have not developed their speaking skills. We are different than those animals, those creatures. I accept that we have good minds. Even I say that we have the best minds. As we know that we human beings are the best on the creatures, and I think it's possible because of we have best minds. But do you know one thing? That normally we people do not use our minds. Many of us do not use our minds. Very few of us use our minds. And I can prove it through examples that there are a great number of people, they do not use our minds. But you'll have to learn one thing before that. We are human beings and we are known for our using minds. So we have to use our minds. And when you want to develop your speaking skills, you have to use your minds. You have to follow some instructions, you have to follow some techniques and tricks, and you will have to know that to follow all these things, there is a need of using minds. If you are ready to use your minds, absolutely you are going to get success in this regard, and you are going to get your speaking skills developed. You have heard about the greatest scientist Einstein? Perhaps you would have heard. As we know that he gave a lot of formulae which we study in science. Do you know one thing about him? It's very interesting. He did not use his full mind. One surprising thing comes here that if a great scientist like Einstein can't use his full mind, how can we common people use? It's not a matter. But we common people must try to use our minds. If we do not go to use our mind as much as it is possible, absolutely we are not going to achieve and learn the things we want or that is desired by us. So if you want to develop your communication skills, one thing you'll have to keep in your mind that you'll have to use your mind, you will have to speak a lot of things, you will have to listen to a lot of speeches, because that will give you a great knowledge, and because of that you will go to learn a lot of things. Today I'm speaking, and I think you can get practice of all these things. You can also make practice of these things at your home. If you will start speaking like this, certainly in a very short of time you are going to get fluency, and absolutely you will be started to call a good speaker. So to develop your speaking skills, you have to do a lot of practice, you have to do a lot of listenings, and if you are ready to do the things like this, if you are going to do the things like this, if you start doing the things like this, absolutely you are going to get success and you are going to get your speaking skills developed. Only using mind is not the best thing and not the most important thing. Again, the question arises, what the best thing is? According to me, the best thing is that you have to use your mind in the right direction. If you are not ready to use your mind in the right direction, means you are not going to get success, means you are not going to achieve what you want to achieve. The another thing which I would like to tell you here that if you want to develop your English speaking skills, you'll have to listen a lot of English speeches. I do not tell you that you should not listen to Hindi speeches. You must listen to Hindi speeches, it's your choice. I also support Hindi language. But the most important point is here that if you want to develop your English speaking skills, you'll have to go through English lectures. At present time, you are watching that I am speaking in English. And you know one thing that I am getting the practice of English speaking. If you are listening, absolutely you are going to get a lot of practice of English listening. But it would be very important for you if you start practicing like me whenever you are at home and doing like this work. I think that you are going to get success and absolutely you are going to achieve what you want to achieve. So that's why it's important for you to follow speeches. It's not important that you have to follow my speeches. You can follow anybody's speeches, but speeches must be followed by you, and only in this way you can develop your skills, otherwise not. I think you all are very intelligent, and because of that I'm going to give you a technique how to develop your communication skills. And I think the single process through which you can develop your English, that is mind map. Means at first you have to prepare your mind map. When you prepare your mind map and you start working accordingly, that absolutely you are going to get success. But there may be question in your mind what the mind map is. Mind map is nothing special. It is a planning. Planning means what you have to do and in which way you have to do. If you make a plan and I think that you go to follow the plan, absolutely you are going to get success. So without delaying, you have to make your mind map, and after then you have to start working regarding that. Absolutely you are going to get your communication skills or speaking skills developed. Perhaps some of you do not know how to make mind map, and for this I can only tell you that you can Google it. There are so many processes through which you can prepare your mind map. Even I'm not very technologically strong, but if you will tell me, if you do not know how to make mind map, I will teach you how to make mind map. But you will have to remember one thing, that without making mind map, if you start working, absolutely it will go in vain. So you don't have to do the work, you don't have to use your efforts, that at last you find that they go into, then it will be bad thing. So first you prepare your map and then you start working, and then you can learn how to speak English. In the last of this video lecture, I would like to tell you one thing, that if you really want to learn the language, only 3 things can help you. The question may be in your mind, what are the 3 things? The first is practice, the second is practice, and the third is also practice. Means only practice can teach you, only practice can help you in developing your speaking skills. So do not make any type of delay and start practicing, and give me permission. I will be with you again in the next video lecture. Till then, bye.